Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Moss, the official podcast of Somos Moss NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, Seth Bidoff. Thank you guys for joining us here on Tuesday nights, as you do each and every week. We got Harry already over in the chat, spamming us before we even went live. So, Harry, we do appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here early. Link to the pre-show. We actually don't. You know what? I'll see what I can do. I will see what I can do to get you a link to the pre-show. There wasn't much of a pre-show tonight because Earl was fixing himself a bowl full of pudding.
Hey, you fuckface. It's actually pasta salad.
Okay, fair enough. Earl is having some pasta salad to kick off the show.
And if you
as
want,
well as his glass of hug juice.
Hey, it gets fucking better too.
All right, lay it on me, Earl.
Also on the menu tonight, Lunchables.
What are you eating? Like what kind of a dinner is this?
Carry on.
All right. Well, folks, as you've heard, joining me this evening, we have the one and only Earl Nieto. No. Jacob is supposed to be here. Are you
Harry,
not the one
not
only?
out of the box. Yeah, I am the one and only.
Okay.
But this is not out of the box pasta salad. This is actually homemade pasta salad from my girlfriend, who's incredible. And then there's this guy.
There he is, making his way.
Hold on,
mic's not.
Proper mic's not connected.
It's a little weird that I mentioned girlfriend and he shows up.
I was in the studio, just not in the thing. I wanted to wait till the perfect moment, and I thought when you said girlfriend, that would be the right moment. So,
well, you know, exactly, perfect moment. Glad you can make it, Jacob. We were wondering where you were. We knew you were going to be here at some point this evening. Earl's drinking his hug juice. I've got some coffee. What are you drinking?
I just have tea.
Tea? Okay. Sweet tea? Unsweet tea?
Mildly sweet tea.
What is wrong with you?
Man, we're all sober today.
In fact, here, hold on.
We're all sober tonight. What the hell?
I don't know where Jacob's going with at this point.
Worried. That worries me.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone popping over into the chat. Harry, of course, stating that the star of the show has now arrived. There you go. RX Stress. Okay, herbal iced tea. That must be something new. I haven't seen that one before. I don't know what he's doing now. There he is.
So it's probably absolutely terrible for me.
Okay.
But it has less sugar than just like a sweet tea typically would. And I think it's delicious. It's got like a interesting flavor. Interesting as in like not like super sweet. No, Team Earl, we're not here to talk. You're Team Earl. You have to be here for the non-soccer content. Otherwise, you wouldn't be Team Earl.
Exactly. That's exactly what we do here. But okay. I mean, I've never heard of that. I've never even seen that before. So I'll definitely have to check it out.
I found it in a truck stop in like the individual bottles.
Okay.
And have loved it ever since. And so it took me a while to find it, but now they have it in those gallon sizes. They carry it at the grocery store here in town in Fort Sumner. So it's pretty nice.
What grocery store do you have in Fort Sumner? I thought it was just a mom and pop.
It is.
Okay.
But they get their stuff from Affiliated Foods, which is the same place that Allsups and Lowe's grocery stores get theirs from.
Okay.
And they carry it. So it's nice.
All right. I'll have to check that out and see if it's any good. I do drink tea. It does have to be sweet tea. I can't do the unsweet, can't do, all that kind of nonsense. So
yeah, it's fairly sweet, I think.
Okay.
But it's not like just a straight up sugary sweet tea taste.
Okay. That reminds me. I meant to send you guys a video. I sent it to a friend of mine. A video of these British kids trying Southern food, basically trying like biscuits and gravy and like an American Thanksgiving dinner. All these things that they had never had before.
I haven't seen that one, but I saw British kids tried American snacks.
Yes, the same one, the same account. Yeah.
Same page or what it's called, channel on YouTube. Yeah, they're hilarious. I love those.
So this white kid today tried El Salvadorian food.
Wow.
And that shit's spicy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just like a lot.
I think they'll survive.
I might.
Yeah, hopefully Earl will survive the show tonight. No, we don't have HEBs here. We don't have that. Team Earl, we do have grocery stores, by the way, most of which are owned by Kroger affiliate incorporated now. Since Kroger is buying everything.
Because they have Albertsons now too, right?
Yes, they bought Albertsons now too. So pretty much every grocery store here is now a Kroger affiliate. So
except for Lowe's. Lowe's is Lowe's.
Lowe's and Walmart. Yeah, that's about it. So I do want to let you guys know. So we did have some questions in the chat last week about whether or not we were pronouncing something correctly or how to pronounce words. So we do have a friend of mine who is a teacher. She is watching this evening. She said that she would correct any and answer any education-based questions we have. So if we have any questions, we'll direct them to my friend, and she will gladly help us out.
Yeah, can you tell me why the Mountain Air schools failed Earl so bad? That's a question I like this.
I think it starts with the fact that he was raised as a Dallas Cowboy fan.
That's probably part of it.
So, guys, I gotta ask, how was your weekends? We talked a little bit over the weekend. Jacob, you made it out to the match, and we'll get to that here later in the show. But how was your weekend? Earl, there was a chat earlier. There was a question earlier in the chat about tag titles. So, I mean, let's go with it. I mean, how was your weekend, number one, and how do you feel about the tag titles, Earl?
Where do I start? So, my weekend fucking sucked. Actually, it wasn't that bad. So my car got repoed, then it was not repoed. It was voluntarily repoed.
Still having problems with the tags or what?
Yeah. So they picked up the vehicle this week. This past Thursday. They're supposed to have the paperwork done on Friday when I went to CarMax and waited 5 hours to get my money. And then, yeah, it just sucked after that.
So you don't have a car.
I have a car now. So we went Friday, had all the stress about it, spent 5 hours in one spot, 2 hours in another, still had to drive home. So it was not fun. So then we went Saturday to pick up, to go car shopping, went to Petrie Kia, picked up a 2023 Kia Rio. With 11 miles on it.
I'm sorry. That's what Allie had when we got together. It wasn't a 2023, obviously, but it was a Kia Rio. I hated that son of a bitch.
That's great to know.
Mainly because it was small, and I've driven a truck my whole life.
Yeah.
And so going from that to a tiny little sedan, I couldn't stand.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty decent size. I mean, for just me, and then whenever Marlena and Maya are in there, then obviously, then...
Have we talked about my new vehicle?
No, we haven't.
No, your state vehicle? No.
No. My new, like, personal car. Or personal vehicle.
We have not.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I gotta... I don't know what that is about. I don't know what that has to do with my new car, but okay.
Nothing at all. I was asked what the book was.
Oh, okay.
You know, I used to have books up here all the time, so I'm excited.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You guys are jackasses too, changing my title.
Not you guys, just me. Just me.
Because I can't even go and change it without leaving the village here.
You can't?
No.
Okay. Harry asked a really important question here. How many Earls can fit into the Rio? Well, Earl, what's the question? What's the answer?
I had a smart ass remark, but I don't know if Marlena listens to this show, so I'm gonna not.
Actually, don't know either.
Well, we can find out because I can make a remark, and then she will guarantee. I guarantee you, she will comment on it if she does. Can I?
We will see a reaction from Earl on his phone.
I'm gonna do it. I don't care. So it depends on which Earl you're talking about. If you're talking about big-headed Earl when he was dating 3 different women at the same time, and was single, then probably only like 6. If you're talking like the current pussy whip version of Earl, that's like the size of a troll, probably like 100, honestly. And if you're talking about miserable Earl when he was still married back before, probably 2 because he ate his feelings.
Earl is anxiously watching his phone for a response.
He's like, wait. I do not have a moped, Team Earl. Thank you very much.
No, he does not.
I have a motorcycle. I do have a motorcycle. It's not a moped.
So Earl, aside from your car weekend, I mean, how have things been? Are you doing good? Are you ready to get out? I know you didn't get to the match on Saturday. Like, are you looking forward to possibly getting out, soon?
Are you ever going to be?
Yeah, are you ever going to be allowed out of the house?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
the difference between married Earl and dating Earl is the person
We
that
hear
Earl,
from him less, actually.
Yes.
The difference is he doesn't chat anymore.
So there's two spectrums here. One, I don't chat anymore because my phone is blown up by one person only.
Yes, Harry, we do.
Live and in the flesh.
Mhm.
So that's one side of it. Because my focus is on someone else. Because I'm not trying to escape who I was living with.
Yeah.
The
We understand, Earl. I'm just giving you a hard time. I love that you're happy. Trust me.
the other side of Earl, the dating side of Earl, actually
We'll have freedom and not
actually
fight.
has the freedom to do these things and actually be on podcasts and not be yelled at and harped at when I'm going to bed. Speaking of which, I do have to call an early night tonight.
That's all right,
Are
Earl.
you sure about that, Earl?
We're gonna do a tight hour, okay?
All right. We're gonna keep the nonsense to a minimum tonight.
I'm gonna
Fuck
hit
that.
that in broadcast button at an hour, whether we're done or not.
Okay.
So you can make it till 10.
All right, we'll do the best that we can. Jacob, you were saying you had a new car. How's it running for you? What brought this on?
Oh yeah. Well, so we're having another kid, as we've talked about.
Yes.
Which makes a total of 4.
Wait, you are?
Shut up. Which makes a total of 4. And when you have 4, you kind of need space.
I have a new question for you now. Now that you said you have 4,
Yes.
do you own a TV?
No. Well, for the longest time, we didn't have one in the bedroom. But now that we've reached the quota of 4, I
can tell.
I put a TV in the bedroom, so we're good there. No, damn it, Earl. So when you have 4 kids, you have to have room. So we had a Ford Explorer that was an SUV, a 3-row SUV that was fine. Yes, like a bus. I'm not gonna lie. I looked into a passenger van. Pretty hard. But at the end of the day, we ended up going with a 2022 Yukon base level, but it's still pretty nice. It's got a shit ton more room, which is awesome. And you will be seeing it throughout the season, I'm sure.
Very cool. Glad to, when I was younger, my dad and his second wife, they bought one of those big Gladiator vans. That had like the captain's chairs in the middle and the reclining seat.
Oh, yeah.
And, with 6 kids, like you got to have, a lot of space. So yeah, I completely get it. So congratulations on that. I mean, you guys do you have a due date yet?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Due date. I told her as long as she waits until after the 15th of April, then she can have her whenever after that, it's fine. In fact, I told her if you could have her during a game, because our middle child, or our youngest now, was born in the middle of a game, like in like the 52nd minute of a game. And so if you could do that again, that'd be awesome. But you don't have to, but it'd be cool.
Okay.
So we'll see.
So I'm getting the sense that we really need to figure out a time to sit down and bring back Dad Ventures. Sit down and like really dive into our personal lives, because we do like to talk about our lives and catch up and things like that, and we appreciate everyone over there. Like fantastic showing over in the chat tonight, Facebook, YouTube. Folks are already throwing comments in the chat as always. Harry and Robert. Yes, plenty of folks are in the chat. So be sure to throw your questions and comments up there throughout the show. Jacob, do you need a godfather?
Not Team Earl.
So I mean,
it's already Earl. So
So I mean, yeah, let's just get right into it because Earl does
It's
have a bedtime tonight. So
Actually, I was just kidding. I don't have a bedtime.
And we're still doing like a tight hour.
yeah, we're gonna try to keep it in there. So
we've talked about doing a tight hour-ish, and we haven't really stuck to it. So let's try.
No, we absolutely will, and that's something because we have talked about. We do. It seems to me, and looking at our analytics, those more concise shows seem to do a little bit better. Great views, great listens last week, so appreciate everyone for doing that. Podcast is doing really appreciate you guys. So let's just jump right into it. New Mexico Runners over the weekend lost their 5th consecutive match. This one, of course, was an overtime loss. So really heartbreaking. What, Earl? Oh, I get a little bit of feedback there. Okay. Yeah, heartbreaking loss for the Runners over the weekends. Hate to see that. I know that Coach Steve and the guys have been putting in all kinds of work, especially after a three match win streak to open the season. It's up, it's sad to see where they're at right now, and it's not like they're not out there doing everything they can. Injuries and illness and just again heartbreaking overtime loss this past weekend. Everything just kind of plays into it, and so still some time left for them to get back into the playoff hunt. Looking forward to seeing what they can do. They are back at home again this weekend on the 4th for another match, 5:05 kickoff. I had the tab up. Where did it go? Apologies. You guys I've got so many tabs up, like stuff and things. And 5:05 kickoff Saturday, March 4th at Rio Rancho Event Center. Once again, playing the Colorado Inferno. So if you have the opportunity to get out there this weekend, check out the Runners. I believe that there is a theme for this weekend.
Union night.
There you go. Thank you, sir. I knew it was something because last weekend was Faith and Family Night. This was Union Night. Union groups get special discounted tickets. You can obviously go to NewMexicoRunners.com to get more information on that. Hey, Andres. There you go, Andres, over in the chat. Appreciate you popping in, buddy. Hope you're doing well. So yeah,
it's this weird vibe that we have going on here. You say girlfriend and Jacob shows up. You say Union and Andres shows up.
I think it was Runners that made Andres show up, but okay.
So Harry, to your point, I actually have 3 monitors, 2 of which are hooked up currently. A third one I use for work. So I do have multiple monitors over here. I'd show you, but I don't want to mess with my webcam. So, but yeah, get out and see the Runners. I mean, it's just been, they're so exciting. There's so much fun.
It's not that he doesn't want to mess up his webcam. It's that he's not wearing pants.
Oh, Earl, I'm not going to show you my lap. I'm not going to.
But what it really is we don't know what's on that other monitor right now.
That too.
Andres, Spidey sense was saying, yes, sir. We do love talking about the Runners. We love seeing you guys. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it out to any of the events this past weekend. I was refereeing.
Time out. Earl.
You missed the opener.
Are you opening a fucking Lunchable right now? God.
Oh, man.
Should I go get the cheese tea or the cheese, the cracker cheese?
No, just eat your Lunchable.
Leave it to Team Roll to go to the gutter. Yes.
This team went to the gutter as soon as we went live.
This team lives in the gutter. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not convinced that we ever fully get out of the gutter. We do have good conversations, so.
Try to say we're going to do a tight hour and we're going to keep the nonsense short. And then Earl breaks out a Lunchable. Yes. At 9:19 at night as a grown-ass man.
Yeah. You I think you missed the full discussion about his dinner this evening. Homemade pasta salad, a hug juice poured out into a Dallas Cowboys glass, and a Lunchable.
Hang on. It was not a Dallas Cowboys glass. It was just a Dallas glass.
Oh, just a Dallas. What's the difference? They're both terrible.
Fucking hate it here.
You and me both, Earl.
Earl, you are liked. People like you. I don't know why, but they
some
like
people,
you.
I don't know who, but some people like
you.
One guy likes you.
Actually, right now in this little shindig we have going on here, I don't know if they're still here, but I had 2 fans in this place. 2, okay. One is Team Earl and the other one's not.
I will say Harry had a valid comment before the show started. When is Seth going to get a fan? Seth needs a fan. That's what we need here. Balance this out a little bit.
Seth doesn't need fans. Wait.
What are we waiting for?
I recognize that face on the Am Rivera comment
Oh.
from Facebook. I recognize that face.
Okay.
Well, he did have a second fan in here, and she does listen apparently. Anyway.
Alrighty. What? Oh, Harry. Harry has a point here. If you want an hour-long show, no comments from the peanut gallery. Harry, that's not the kind of ship that we run here.
Well, Harry has a
don't do
better
that.
comment. What's the best Lunchable?
Exactly.
I still say it's the ones that you put in the pouch, the chicken nuggets that you put in the pouch, and you pour the little dry sauce in there, the dry powder, and you zip it up, and then you shake the shit out of it.
Shake and bake?
No, it's called the Shakeables, actually.
What in the world? Okay.
Google it.
We've got shakeables. We got pizza. I'm on board with my dress here. I like the pizza ones. Those are bomb, man. Eat those. Those are fantastic.
The correct answer is the sub, but
yeah, I don't know, because Lunchables really haven't changed since we were kids.
the sub is
yeah.
my son gets the sub now, and it's pretty damn good. It's way better than the crackers and fake meat and cheese.
You shut your fucking mouth.
They love the pizza. I think the pizza is disgusting. Now adult me does. I loved it when I was a kid though. And I don't know what the fuck Earl is talking about with the shake and bake stuff.
Yeah, I've never seen a shakeable. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming Earl is Googling that to prove us wrong here.
What it is probably freaking new, but since me and you are adults, we don't eat them. But Earl over here is over here eating anything and everything, and so he's tried all the new Lunchables that have come out in the last year. And
This was in like fucking high school.
Yeah, that was still when we were adults,
Yeah.
Earl.
Earl seems to forget how old we are. Oh, Harry, go to.
Oh, you want to talk about the weather? Hold on, we got to talk about the weather for a second.
The weather's insane.
We had 80-mile-an-hour gust of wind here
Yes.
on Sunday, and it took out my canopy for the playground at the park. Pissed me off.
Oof.
Blew down a couple trees. I've been cleaning up branches for 3 days now. So we will talk about the weather, Team Earl.
Yeah, no, the weather's been absolutely insane. David Carl was saying over on Twitter that part of his fence blew away. Apparently it landed somewhere, like in East Texas or something. So, the wind was absolutely insane over the weekend. Weather's just been terrible.
I got a new trampoline when we moved to this house.
Oh God, where is it?
It's right where I put it, and it is not staked down. That thing is a beast. It's a rectangular one with steel tubing instead of aluminum tubing, and that sucker is secure without any ropes or stakes or anything, and I freaking love it.
Panel of fence for Andres. Yeah, no, it was insane. The weather's just busy. So Earl just sent us a group text, and we're gonna try to show this to you guys. Nacho cheese chicken shake up.
That is disgusting.
That looks atrocious.
That's just one of them. That's just one of them.
Like, why would you even?
And he also sent pictures of his road covered in tumbleweeds, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the state of New Mexico right now.
That happened within 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. It was terrible.
Harry, you can't be a day over 49, sir.
Oh man!
And who's the Flintstones, by the way?
Now you're gonna shit on Harry. He's Team Jacob.
Oh, Flint's. No, I just didn't know. Sorry.
Yes.
Never mind, Harry.
Harry, in case you're wondering, there is room on the Earl bus, just so you know.
No, Earl still sucks. I apologize. Which is sad because I'm actually where are they? There's a bottle of Flintstone vitamins right there, and I just had a brain fart. That's all.
Oh.
Anyways, back on track.
Harry, there's no good segue out of this at all.
Seth, how was your weekend again?
My weekend was good. It was busy.
Good talk.
I got out. I refereed.
What's the generic one?
What Saturday I got out. I refereed some DCSL. A lot of fun doing that. Finally get back out there for the first tournament of the weekend. Did that actually Saturday and Sunday. A lot of fun. Did some U17s. Some really good clubs out there. And then last night I went out and I refereed down at Kramer Fields. Refereed a match. Our good friend Minnie Esquivel was playing in.
Okay.
Refereed him. Actually, called a couple fouls on Minnie. I threatened to caution him,
I'd red card. I'd a straight red.
I was tempted. He told me that they were really bad, but no, Minnie's got a pretty good team. They put up it was really good match last night. So a lot of fun with that. Yeah, it's just been a lot of refereeing, and so I've got let's see, I've got 2 more matches Friday night. I've got games on Saturday, games on Sunday. So yeah, soccer season's back in full swing. Going to be out doing that all weekend long. I-9's about to kick off. Gaffel's kicking off. Like, dude, like I'm I'm going to be so freaking busy for the next 3 or 4 months. Like, it's just
AYSO's kicking off.
Yeah, AYSO. Earl, did you hear anything on that, by the way?
Not yet. I will, though.
Okay.
I'll reach out to James again.
All right, no worries. Yes, Harry, we're finally going to get to talk a little bit more soccer. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been a good weekend, got out, like I said, basically spent the entire weekend outside. Weather was absolutely shit, but it was good to be outside and get moving and get back into the swing of things. So yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. And speaking of the weekend, New Mexico United obviously had another preseason match. Jacob, you were able to get out there, and this is our first opportunity, any of our first opportunities to get out there, and because none of us made the first match, unfortunately. You made this one here. Finally get to see some of the kids, some of these guys in action. What was your biggest takeaway on Saturday?
Yeah, the phone that lives farthest away is the only one to have made it to a preseason match so far. What was the biggest takeaway? The biggest takeaway was probably we had questions about the defense. Now it was CSU Pueblo, so obviously not the highest caliber of opponent, but I feel like we had a solid defensive outing. We had a back line of Suggs and Harry on the outside, and then Kalen and Seymour as the 2 center backs. And I think they looked good. They communicated well. They got into a couple little tiffs about certain things, but at the end of the day, CSU Pueblo had 0 chances, basically. Even against our second unit. So what we did was we had first teamers all in there for the first 45 minutes, and then at halftime had a complete line change. And those were the only subs we made. We didn't sub anybody else out. So
Yes, they would.
We didn't sub anybody out in the first half or the second half, so it was 11 and then 11. In the second half, we had Zolly and Timothy Zolly and Kyle Colonna.
Kelowna, yeah.
And I tell you, I think Kyle's got a chance to make the squad.
I think so. I've seen the clips I've seen of him have been very impressive.
He was very calm when they were pressing. He made very good decisions. Now, they weren't under siege a lot of the time because we controlled possession, even with our, quote, second unit in. But he looked really good. And he might be kind of the not the one bright spot, but the biggest thing to me, because we need help at that center back position. I put out a small depth chart, a quick depth chart over the weekend. And, for center backs, we basically just have Zolly, Seymour / Hamilton, and Ryden. If we're playing a back 4, which is what we played on Saturday, then we really just have those 3 that play in the middle. Austin maybe could move down into the middle, but for the most part, it's just 3. So we could use some help there. There was talk about Rashid coming back, but we still haven't heard anything. I'm feeling a little less optimistic about that. So Kyle could very well step in after his senior year at San Diego State. he very well could step in and come in. And I was told that I was told by somebody that they believe he was the one that was brought in from the open tryouts that we had. And so that would be nice if he made the squad as an open tryout guy. That's a good story. And like I said, he looked really good. I think Wags is going to be on the team, guys.
I think so too.
I don't think he's going to do anything else but play for New Mexico United. Merritt and Robles, they've got decisions to make, and I think they'll probably choose college or something like that. But Wag has a decision to make, and I would be surprised if he doesn't just come on board, because he's going to get minutes, because he looked dangerous again. It was pretty impressive by him. And of course, Nava did Nava things. We had 3 goals yet again, all 3 of which were fairly repeatable and consistent. We had kind of Amando creating pressure, stealing the ball, scoring it off to Doling, who found an empty net, basically. Then the second one was off a corner. Zali he got up there. He's a big dude. He's like 6. What is he? 6'7"?
Yeah,
I can't remember what he is, but he's huge. And I posted a picture. I replied to his post about it with a picture that I took of him jumping up there. And he's high. He's a little ways off the ground.
Yeah, that was an impressive photo.
And so he got up there and got to the ball, headed it straight down into the ground, popped it back up past the goalie into the top net, and looked really good there. And then Brucey gets his 4th of the preseason. Dallings was his 3rd of the preseason. And Brucey's was a little fluky. It was off a cross that took a couple deflections and found Bruce at the back post wide open. But those are the kinds of things that are going to happen from time to time, and you want to keep. It's good to see them, because we don't see that ball kind of squirt through too often and have somebody at that back post. You might see it squirt through, but then nobody's there. And so Brucey making that run and being at the back post at that time was good to see. And honestly, I mean, I see you have the presser from that loaded up here. That's at least what it looks like. There was like nobody there, as far as there's a couple hundred people there fan wise, which was nice. But as far as media, there was nobody. I mean,
really?
Yeah, the Lobo men and women basketball team played, and the Lobo baseball team had a doubleheader. And then you had district tournaments for high school basketball going on. And so I think the sports programs, or the sports media for like the news and stuff was freaking Team Earl was kind of spread thin. So it was me. Chris Walker was there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not doing media. Chris, if you're listening, I'm not saying you aren't. I'm just speculating, because I know you got your hands full with the Black Diamonds and stuff. And then our friend Adri was there, but she was with friends and family, and I think she came onto the field and did a few things, or talked to a few people. But as far as just when me and David got coach to ask him some questions, it was just me and David. And then, at the preseason, when you first walk in the gate, behind that goal is where the curse sets up. And then the far goal, where me and Seth usually sit in the corner there, I had free reign of that whole side behind the goal. There was nobody else there, and I had to go ahead to I had to stay on the sidewalk. I couldn't go into the grass, but I could be up and down right there as much as I wanted. So I was up and down there. It was nice. Actually, another big takeaway was when the starters came off, they grabbed some foam rollers and just kind of loosened up, stretched out on those. But they were joking around and carrying on and talking and having a good time. And I didn't see that a lot last year. And in fact, Coach mentions kind of the team aspect that we have this year, and how everybody is just kind of bought in and is just really a cohesive unit right now. And so that kind of stuck out to me for sure. Seth's over here talking to somebody and keeps smiling, and it just cracking the shit out of me, honestly.
No, it's been really interesting. So I was queuing something up here for us. You mentioned you got the chance to talk to the coach after the game, so I got the video of that. We'll go ahead and
saw quite a bit of change there in the second half. Did the first half guys, was that the plan all along? Or?
Yeah, it's all about, working on ourselves and really making sure that we're keeping everyone fit while getting their loads correct so we can, progress on and get them more minutes. In the future, it's game by game. You can't blow them up every single game. So we're just really managing their minutes and making sure we're putting them in a good position where it's game time. They feel like they can really go.
Do you feel like at this point you have a starting 11, or is that just going to continue to mix up, you think?
It's proven every day, and I mean, we have a good group of guys. We have a smaller squad this year, so everyone's going to be used. And so it's really important for those guys, if you're not in the 11, to keep pushing on. And we have the personalities, particularly this year, where all those guys will keep pushing.
Did those starters show you what you wanted to see from them? Or
yeah, I thought they did all right. There was a little bit of frustration. They wanted to score a few more goals. There's no doubt about it. I think we had too much movement towards the ball. We need some more movement in behind. We haven't really gotten there yet. We're really working more so on our build and keeping possession and organizing ourselves offensively. And so really starting to, talk about movement in behind, how that looks for us, between what positions, where the ball is positioned, who's moving in behind in those moments. And we're getting closer and closer to getting there, but that'll be a lot of what we work on next week. 5
matches into the preseason unbeaten. Does that matter at all?
I mean, no, because it doesn't get us any closer to where we want to be, and that's, in a playoff game and hosting one at Isotopes Park, and if these counted as 3 points, then yeah, it would matter. But it's good to win these games. You want to start to create a winning mentality, and I think we've done that so far. But we need to keep progressing and not get too far ahead of ourselves, and really make sure we're paying attention to what we're working on this week. Are we building on that, and can we start to couple things together? And we're getting closer and closer. There's no doubt about that.
Last one for me. How cool is it to see? This is a preseason match. The weather was terrible when things started. You still had hundreds of fans out here today.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. These people are so committed, and we're committed to them. I'm so glad to see us out in the community and hosting a community clinic before the game and seeing those people come over. And man, there's a really good energy with our club and with our community, and us giving. It's a reciprocal relationship where we're giving to them, and they're of course giving to us, and we don't take that lightly. We love that, and we can't wait to perform in front of them at Isotopes.
So I asked him a couple questions after that, after David stopped. I asked him specifically about the defense. He said that he likes how it looks, blah, 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 blah. He kind of typical coach speak. But I did ask about Rivas. He is injured.
Okay.
They're working him back. They expect him to be back ready by the opener. And then Hurst and Yearwood did not play because of small injuries that wouldn't have mattered if it would have been regular season, but because it was preseason, they were kept out. Other than that, everybody's looking healthy. It did catch me off that he did say that we have a smaller roster this year, so that tells me we're probably not going to do a whole lot else, and everybody's going to contribute. So I imagine we're going to keep it. It's at 20 if you include Robles and Merritt. I wouldn't be surprised if those two leave, which puts us at 18. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kelowna or somebody else comes in. So I imagine we'll be at that 20-ish mark, is what I'm thinking there.
Yeah, definitely some good little bits there. But even if you didn't get them on, if we didn't get them on camera, but this is something that we're gonna try to do a little bit more because we do get video and audio of the press conferences, so we can start throwing those in here to the weekly show, so we can talk about them, break them down, talk about different things. But to be fair, Robert, to this point, I understand what you're saying. The thing is,
the middle of February.
Yes, the middle of February. All the grass here is dead right now. It's not just the practice field. It's everywhere. All the grass is dead. None of like the seed has been activated. Like even the public parks are terrible. Jacob, looking at you, but
I don't have grass here.
yeah, I know. But no, it's everywhere. It really is. And so here in about a month or so, the seed will start taking, and they'll start watering, doing all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that Sergio was something that we had speculated on last week, whether or not he was injured. So good to get an update on that. And it sounds like, especially with the smaller roster size, that especially the academy kids are going to get a bit of play this year, or at least have the opportunity to. So, I mean, Earl, what's your take on that? Do you think that this keeping a smaller roster is going to be good for the club this year? I mean, because that's something back in year one, we had the Open Cup run, talked about what we felt was a small roster then. This is smaller than that. I mean, do we think that that's going to be a detriment? Do you think this is where we're going to stay? Do you think maybe later on we add another player or two?
I'm going to divert to Jacob first because I saw his mouth go open.
Sorry. I will say that for the first year compared to this year, we did have a bigger roster in year one, but I don't think it was near as deep. There was a lot of unproven talent. So I was going to throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start with this one. So would I like a bigger roster? Of course, because if we're going to do if we're fucking Robert,
we're on track. We're talking soccer.
Yeah, I was actually like composed and I had it figured out. So to answer your question, so to answer Seth's question, I'm holding this up for Robert, that way he gets the answer as well.
Oreo, Robert.
All right, deal.
Okay.
So would I like to have a bigger roster? Of course, especially if we're gonna do like Open Cup and different things like that, and having a mid-season international friendly, then yeah, I would definitely love to have as many people as we possibly can to avoid the tired legs and fatigue that we're going to be seeing at that time. Especially if we make a deep open run to where we're still playing in July for the Open Cup. I mean, 18 players is not, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not the soccer person here. 18 people, in my opinion, is not enough because it's just not. I mean, if you look at, even when we look at year one where we weren't as deep because we didn't have all the talent and all the experience, we still did good, but we had a pretty small size roster as well. But then we also showed the fatigue during regular season where we would play a Saturday and we played Tuesday for Open Cup and then we played Wednesday again or whatever the fucking day it was, Thursday or Friday. That adds up. I mean, when you're doing that kind of schedule, I mean, that's going to add up. And if you only have 18, you're definitely going to see that kind of fatigue happen in the middle of the season, closer to the later end of the season when you need a playoff push.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Zach handles that throughout the season. And in that clip there, obviously, he talked about managing minutes. And obviously, with a smaller roster, you're going to have to do that. And particularly in the preseason, that way you lessen the risk of injuries here heading into the first few weeks. And to Christina's point here, last season felt like Zach never set on a consistent lineup. Maybe a smaller squad will help with that issue. I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the preseason rosters, at least the last couple 11s they've thrown out to start the matches have been what look to us like day one rosters. Or day one team sheets. And so I think he's kind of figured something out. But yeah, it's the concern is going to be if we have the injury bug hit, if we have guys start to go down, where do those minutes come from? Where do we go out and sign somebody? Do we pick somebody up? Because 19, 20, 21 guys, that's not a lot of depth to help cover those spots.
I feel like Christina's point to last year was injuries kind of made it almost impossible for us to keep a consistent lineup last year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But it is a big risk with this smaller lineup. Because one, you're obviously going to be putting a little more on your star players, your upper echelon players, which increases the chance of an injury. And then when they do get injured, there's not a lot of help there. But I think he might be leaving it open. We saw several midseason moves last year, kind of out of necessity. I think he might be leaving that open so that, when we make that midseason move, it's not adding to a 22, 23 man roster. It's adding to the 19, 20 man roster, and is I'm thinking maybe he's leaving that roster a little short to begin, so that if and when we make midseason additions, we will have room to do that without feeling like they're coming in and stepping on some people's toes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens. It really is. I mean, with the way the schedule plays out this year, there's not necessarily a ton of congestion. We do have some weeks where we do have those Wednesday, Saturdays, and obviously with Open Cup thrown in there as well. Managing those minutes, seeing how guys react, seeing how Zach handles substitutions, because Zach seems to have a very different perspective on substitutions than what Troy did. Troy used, I think I did the math at one point, it was like 95% of all the available subs, Troy used them. Zach hasn't come anywhere close to that. So, looking at and watching what happens these first few matches will probably give us a good idea as to what he wants to do throughout the season and how he is going to handle all that. And, you talked about Rosh a little while ago. Maybe Rosh gets signed. Maybe Kelowna gets signed. Maybe some of these other trialists get signed as well, because we've heard good things about some of these guys. You've had conversations with folks. I talked to many. I didn't mention this. I got to watch the academy last night. They were down there training. Ford was out there with some guys, and coaches were out there. So I got to watch them for a while. There's some talented young kids that may even get the opportunity. I mean, I think that's less likely, but yeah, it's going to be real interesting what happens with this small of a roster to see how we handle things and what that means, short-term, long-term, injury issues, so I don't know.
I will say that a lot of what I heard Saturday from a few different people, and Coach alluded to it in the presser there, was nobody really talked bad about last season's squad, but they kind of talked bad about last season's squad and how some of the players weren't really bought into the team concept. We're a little bit more, me and not us. And I think that has led to some of what we're seeing with this smaller roster is they're bringing in guys that are more team oriented and focused. We also, I haven't got an answer to this, but Coach Mack was promoted to director of player personnel.
Yep.
As well as an assistant coach, which means Itamar is probably gone. And Itamar was the one that pushed for Ratty and Brett and some of these other players that had a shitload of talent that we saw, but just didn't quite gel with what the team wanted. And I was not 100% sure that didn't contribute to the change to Mac and to the smaller roster. And honestly, something needed to change from last year because we did underperform. The offense was not good. And so I'm hoping that this changes things for the better, and that we get, especially the offense that we've seen, come alive this preseason. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come during the regular season. I did look at all 4 previous preseasons at how we did, not only offensively, but with wins and losses and stuff like that, and defensively. And I had it all in a notebook, and I left it in my office at work. But
brilliant.
The basic gist of it was, for the most part, preseason didn't matter.
Right.
We did only score 6 goals in 5 preseason matches last year. And the offense was terrible, or seemingly terrible for the amount of quality we had on the pitch. The year before, we did score 14 in 6 games. But then I think we were kind of middle of the pack offensively that season. So So it kind of doesn't really matter, but you still really like to see it, especially like not necessarily the CSU Pueblo one, but the El Paso one you love to see because it's El Paso and FEP all day. And then, Lou City, Detroit City, and Chicago are all pretty quality opponents that, like, I think no matter who they kind of have out there, especially Lou City and Chicago, that's going to be a pretty high quality team. And we put up multiple goals on both of those teams. So I do think it's a good sign, even if it doesn't directly correlate to success in the regular season.
Well, if you ask people like John Morrissey, apparently Detroit City had a F grade for the offseason. So
they did not have a good offseason grade.
I'm actually gonna reach out to John, see if we can't get him on the show, or at least maybe do like a one-off with him. But because there's some interesting things, and that's a show that I think Harry would be fantastic to have on as well, to talk about off-season rankings and projections and all that kind of stuff. And next week, I want us to get into our projections for this season, based off what we've seen to this point, because season starts in just a matter of 20 days,
18 days, 19
days, yeah,
if you include a day. For most teams we start later than that, but
we start on the 18th. Other teams start
on the 25th. Other teams start on the 18th.
Yes, you are correct.
Right? Yeah, you're the professional.
Again, I've got if you guys knew how much.
Oh, we already know. We already know.
You don't even know. You don't know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, season's right around the corner, and definitely want to get into our projections. Miami, March 18th is our first day against Miami.
Really?
Yes.
So it's the 11th they all start?
Yeah, the 11th and 12th is when everyone else starts. We start a week after.
Oh, my schedule's all fucked then.
See, you got me messed up. I was like, I knew it. I had it.
I'm super busy on the 11th and 12th, and I was like, oh, that's okay. Then nothing else is going on that weekend because we don't play that weekend. But I didn't realize that I'll be watching other teams play. It does look like Phoenix is now LAFC's go-to USL club again instead of the Lights. They just got a defender from them on loan. And they have Danny Trejo, which isn't necessarily an LAFC affiliated player this year, but he has been in the past. So who knows?
When is the USL? Talk about our USL pre. We can do that next week because we still have a couple weeks. So we can do. I'll tell you what. We'll do next week. We'll do a USL preview. We'll break down who we. We'll do our preseason playoff projections. How about that? Because we know El Paso's not going to make it. We know Phoenix isn't going to make it. But we can talk about that next week. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, we'll do that. So Harry, we're glad to have. Hopefully you'll be around for that one next week. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Season is fast approaching. A little while ago we talked about Open Cup. I actually mentioned to you guys the other day. I know one of the referees is going to work Open Cup. Well,
never mind. Because it'll be against somebody that we should be able to beat. So you should have been able to keep your money in your pocket, not have to pay him off, right?
Yeah, I won't have to pay him off. He's actually an assigner for one of the leagues that I work. So he's like regional certified. He's a legit USSF regional referee. So he's working that. He's working some other stuff. So he actually worked the preseason game the other day.
The one I was at? Yeah. Which one was he?
I don't know. I only talked to him for a minute because he played last night. But I didn't see. I didn't get a chance to talk to him really and pick his brain about what position which referee position he ran. So
because if he was the AR that was in front of the United bench, he did not have a good day.
Yeah, I don't know. I can ask him, but I'll see what he did. But yeah, so I know one of the referees is going to work Open Cup. I'm going to try to talk to him, pick his brain a little bit. As far as I know, it's pro. As far as I know, Fantas. I know this has been some sort of question here. So I mean, the referee that I know, he works all over the Western U.S. He recently did matches up in like Washington, Oregon, and those areas. So as far as I know, they're going pro. Now USL does have an announcement coming out this Thursday. We don't know what this is. Some of the speculation I've seen has been possibly about that, possibly about ESPN broadcast schedules. That's what I'm leaning towards. I think it's going to be the ESPN broadcast schedule this weekend. Figuring out what the national broadcasts and things are going to be. And that's exciting to see. But yeah, I mean, we're slowly getting to the season opener. What was the other? There was other thing we mentioned in our chat earlier. We talked about getting to.
It was that, and then Morrissey's.
Morrissey. Yeah, so we can talk about that later. Like I said, I'm gonna reach out to him, see if we can't get something with him. But yeah, I mean, starting next week we'll do our USL preview. We'll talk some potential starting 11s. Jacob's already put out his over on Facebook. A lot of things going on.
So that's to be fair, that's not necessarily what I would do necessarily. That's what I think Coach will do. Although mine is pretty similar.
Okay. So yeah, if you haven't seen it over on Facebook, I believe it is in New Mexico United Nation. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in New Mexico United Nation. It's on our page on Facebook, and it is on Twitter as well.
All right. So there you go. Go check out Jacob's post. Jacob's also been doing some breakdowns of the highlights that we've been sent from the preseason matches. Go check those out. They've generated some discussions, some great views, some really interesting plays, some really good goals. Earl, what are you messing with?
It's very echoey, Earl.
Yes.
You're very echoey.
Your face is echoey.
Your mother.
Go check those out. Hop in on those discussions. I know there's been a Reddit post from John Morrissey with his link to his most recent article over on Backheeled. Go check that out. I would love to get your thoughts next week or whenever we do talk to John about his off-season grades and his projections for the season.
And we don't have a way to get money, obviously. So if you're listening to us, you're not paying us anything. So go subscribe to Backheeled. It's $50 a year or $5 a month for the lowest package. And I've only been on it for a few days, and there's tons and tons of good stuff on there, whether it's USL, MLS. It's really cool. Morrissey's on there. Joe, what's Joe's last name? Shit. He's part of the Total Soccer Show. He's one of the heads of that thing. Does really good stuff. I mean, it's just he does live in Phoenix, and he is a Phoenix fan, so I do hold that against him a little bit, but still, they're doing really good stuff out there. And so if you like the soccer stuff that we talk about, Lowry, thank you, Harry. I don't know why that popped out of my head. But if you like the soccer stuff that we talk about, you should definitely go subscribe. If you're just here for the nonsense, maybe save your money because they don't have a lot of nonsense on there right now. Although Graham Ruffin from Total Soccer Show also ranked all the MLS kits. So that's kind of nonsensical. And so maybe just do it no matter what. But I love a lot of the people that work on that show. I love the content they create there and other places. So I think it's worth your time and a little bit of money to be able to read that stuff.
Yeah, definitely go check them out. I was promoting them over on Reddit earlier because folks are like, why would we pay this? I'm like, dude, honestly, they're the biggest outlet that I know of that consistently covers USL. Like, and provides a tremendous coverage of the USL Championship. So go check. Yeah, if you're, again, we're still figuring stuff out. I mean, but until then, go support Backheeled, John Morrissey, those guys. Great coverage. Before we do get out of here, I do want to mention I am going to throw the audio from the press conference that New Mexico United did with Ron Patel and Christian Speakman, the sporting director from Sunderland AFC, ahead of the match this summer. They did a press conference yesterday afternoon. I'll throw that audio in right here.
And we're back.
Thank you, Jacob. No, I appreciate that. That's really great there. So
it's a joke from another podcast that I listen to where they do that, and then every once in a while they don't end up putting an ad there because they'll say, "Oh, well, we're going to be right back into this ad," and then
they run like a little stinger, and then they're like, "Yeah."
And so then usually there's like an ad, and then he yells, "And we're back." But when you did that, I was like, this is perfect. So
Yes, exactly. No, we're gonna keep doing things like that. Obviously, the video we played earlier, we're gonna start throwing in some press conference stuff. We're gonna start putting all that stuff
Basically,
into the show.
we're getting more official and
Yes.
professional.
We are.
aside from all.
So about that. So this morning, so fun fact for everybody today. So this morning,
Oh,
I,
hour. Sorry, Earl.
No. You hold your freaking
I'm
horse.
just kidding.
So this morning,
It is legitimately an hour though.
I woke up with clown makeup on my face. I must have slept kind of funny.
You had me for a second.
I have thought that his soon-to-be stepdaughter like did makeup.
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, that's part of why I thought maybe this could be true. And then, fuck off.
We're trying to be more professional, except for Earl. I'm pretty sure telling the people that watching our video to fuck off.
Not the people, just the person. One person. Just the one person.
You shit on Harry earlier. Now you're shitting on Team Earl.
I did not shit on Harry. I was just confused. Okay? Clown makeup and a Kia Rio Earl on Earl crime. See, that's why Harry's my boy. I love
There
you.
you go. Before Jacob gets us out of here, anybody have any closing thoughts?
I want to ask Harry if he's coming into Mexico this year, or if since he came last year, he's going to go somewhere else. And then, other than that, I just want to say I love you, Earl.
So I have one other thing. I love it too.
If this is a fucking joke, then I'm done.
I love you too. So Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd were at a bar. Daffy orders
Very, very whiskey. Finally, I knew one. I don't care, Robert. Robert, in all seriousness,
I cannot wait.
I'm joking, Robert. I do appreciate you. Just like to give you a hard time. And if you're going to be Team Earl, I'm going to make sure you stay Team Earl. So
I can't wait to see my number 2 fan.
I'm pretty sure he's number 1.
Nope.
He's been on your team way longer than your girlfriend has. Just saying.
Look,
Earl's rankings are not in order of seniority.
Fair enough.
he's the most. No, I'm not even gonna say that.
Don't get in trouble, Earl. Don't get in trouble.
I'm pretty sure she's still listening. If she is, I appreciate you because you're not a soccer fan.
So it sounds like Earl and Harry are both going to be coming in August. I think it's the first week of August.
Double checking that for you.
I'm pretty sure I live here, so
Not you.
yes,
August
Robert.
12th.
There will be Lunchables. I'll bring you a Lunchable that day.
August 12th, San Antonio at the lab.
12th?
Yep.
Okay. That's a Friday, isn't it? Or is that no, that's a Saturday.
Pretty sure it's a Saturday. Yeah, it's a Saturday.
So if they send me to the academy this summer, if they send me to Hobbs, I will maybe be able to make it, but probably not still. I don't start till the 14th, but I'll probably stay home since that'll be my last few days before I go to the academy. If I go to Santa Fe, then I won't be able to make it at all. So we'll see. But I hope I will try my hardest if you guys come to get over there and hang out, even if it is just for an hour and I can't actually go to the match.
So another thing before we leave. The other day, and don't you mute me. The other day, I got hit with a violin, an oboe, and a piano.
But can you tune a fish?
No, I got home that day. I was like, dang, that sucked. I think it was orchestrated attack.
Oh, that was terrible. I should have let you tell the whiskey one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got nothing else. Earl has nothing else. I'm making sure of that right now. Seth, anything else?
I'm good, man.
All right, guys. Harry, Robert, and Christina over in the chat. We had one other commenter. I'll let Earl thank her off air. I just appreciate all you guys. You guys are great. We love doing it. We love the ability to be able to have the chat going and be able to communicate with you guys live here. And we hope to catch you back here next week, 9:00, as we are weekly now, as the season ramps up. And I really just can't wait for the regular season to start. But we've got a couple more preseason matches, and then an off week to kind of rest and recuperate and go from there. So as Seth said, next week we will have our kind of USL preview. Obviously a little bit New Mexico focused than anything else, but I'm sure we'll talk about the East and the West just a little bit. We'll have some who we think might be in the playoffs. We might get to John's preseason off-season grades, where he had New Mexico probably where I would put them. And yeah, I can't wait for that. Christina, no, thank you. We do it for you guys. We do it because we love you guys. We love each other. We love New Mexico United. And I mean, honestly, we do it all for free because we love to do it. Obviously we would take some money to do some improvements around here, looking at Earl's background. But
We'll need some proper headphones.
Yeah, that too. But
and a new mic apparently.
But no, we enjoy it. We enjoy the ability to talk to you guys and to talk to each other, and I think all three of us, even if we make fun of Seth for being a soulless robot, I'm a
wizard. I'm a wizard.
I see that now.
Yes.
We do love this club, and we love talking about this club. So we would probably do this even if we didn't record it, since we've been recording it for so long now. We're going into year 3.
Year 3, man.
4.
Year 4. This
year
is year
4
4
for us, right? Wow, that's crazy. So going into year 4 for us, and yeah, I'm excited for it and can't wait. So next week, 9:00, we'll be back. We'll have thoughts on maybe some preseason, the preseason game. They travel to Colorado Springs this Saturday for that. The Runners are playing. We talked about them, and if you can go check those guys out. And then yeah, we'll be here. We'll have the normal amount of nonsense, and then we'll talk a little soccer and have some fun. So catch us again next week, and until then, somos unidos.